Now we can also have transformations on these graphs. And here are the different transformations. This A out front, that's going to change the orientation and shape of our graph. If A is a negative number, it's going to reflect across the x-axis, which means it's going to flip upside down. If the absolute value of A is greater than 1, meaning it's not a fraction that's less than 1, it can be a whole number or a fraction that's bigger than 1, we're going to have a vertical stretch that's going to kind of make it go up really, really quickly. Or if we have a fraction that's between 0 and 1, it's going to be vertical compression, which means it's going to start to flatten out even quicker than the original. If we are subtracting something underneath our square root, we're going to shift our graph to the right by that number of units. If we're adding something underneath the square root, it'll go to the left by that number of units. This will help us determine our domain. Then if we're adding something outside of the square root, that's going to shift up. If we're subtracting, it'll shift down, and that'll help us determine our range. So for these first few examples, we're just going to describe the transformations, and then later on we'll actually go in and graph. So we've got y equals x minus 3 minus 1. This minus 3 on the inside means we're going to the right by 3 units. The minus 1 on the outside means we're going down by 1 unit. Now we have f of x equals 1/2 square root of x plus 5 plus 1. This 1/2 that's in the front, that's going to be a vertical compression, meaning it's going to flatten out, compress by 1/2. That plus 5 on the inside tells us we're going to the left 5 units. The plus 1 on the outside tells us we're going up 1 unit. Then finally, y equals -2 square root of x minus 1. This negative tells us we're going to reflect. The 2 tells us we are going to have a vertical stretch. And then this -1 that's on the outside tells us we're going down by 1 unit. And those are some of the different transformations.